One of the most powerful, yet underappreciated drivers of modern obesity is the rise of ultra-processed foods, UPFs. These are industrial formulations of ingredients that rarely exist in nature in the combinations presented. Think sugary breakfast cereals, chips, packaged snack cakes, frozen meals, fast food burgers, and even some protein bars and flavored yogurts. They are engineered for convenience, long shelf life, and irresistible flavor. But behind their seductive textures and taste lies a fundamental problem. UPFs disrupt the body's finely tuned systems for regulating hunger, fullness, and energy balance, tipping the scales toward chronic overeating and fat accumulation. Unlike whole or minimally processed foods, UPFs are stripped of natural fiber, volume, and complexity. They tend to be calorie-dense but nutritionally sparse, often loaded with refined sugars, unhealthy fats, sodium, and additives designed to intensify flavor and mouthfeel. This combination short-circuits the body's natural satiety mechanisms. When people eat whole foods, fruits, vegetables, legumes, whole grains, lean proteins, their bodies receive signals from mechanical fullness, fiber-triggered gut hormones, and slower digestion that say, "You've had enough." In contrast, UPFs are often soft, easy to chew, and rapidly digested, allowing large amounts of energy to be consumed in a short time without triggering the usual stop signs. In controlled studies, people consistently consume more calories when offered ultra-processed meals compared to unprocessed ones, even when the meals are matched for macronutrients and palatability. One landmark study by the NIH showed that participants ate over 500 more calories per day on an ultra-processed diet without realizing it and gained weight within just 2 weeks. This wasn't about lack of willpower. It was a direct result of how these foods interact with appetite regulation, reward systems in the brain, and insulin dynamics. The issue isn't just how much we eat, but how often. UPFs often promote grazing behaviors, constant snacking, sweetened drinks between meals, and the normalization of dessert-like foods for breakfast or post-dinner treats. Because they cause rapid spikes in blood sugar and insulin, followed by crashes, they can lead to cycles of craving and fatigue that keep people reaching for more. The body, sensing volatility, becomes more likely to store excess calories as fat, especially around the abdomen, where it poses greater health risks. It's also worth noting that UPFs change the relationship people have with food. Many are designed to override normal taste preferences with exaggerated sweetness, saltiness, and richness, making simple whole foods taste bland by comparison. Over time, this blunts taste sensitivity and encourages preference for hyperpalatable options. In children especially, early exposure to ultra-processed snacks can shape long-term eating habits, reducing vegetable intake and making it harder to self-regulate. Despite these concerns, it's important to approach this issue with optimism rather than alarmism. Awareness of the role of UPFs in obesity is growing rapidly, and many people are beginning to reconnect with more natural ways of eating. This doesn't mean eliminating all processed foods, which would be impractical and unnecessary. Rather, it means shifting the balance, choosing more whole ingredients, preparing meals when possible, and paying attention to how different foods make us feel physically and emotionally. Small changes, such as replacing sugary beverages with water or unsweetened tea, swapping out packaged snacks for fruit or nuts, and cooking a few homemade meals each week, can make a real impact. Equally encouraging is the emerging policy conversation around reformulating processed foods, improving food labeling, and reducing aggressive marketing, especially to children. Food companies are beginning to respond to consumer demand for cleaner, simpler ingredients. Meanwhile, public health advocates are working to increase access to fresh foods in underserved areas, ensuring that healthy choices are not just available but affordable and culturally appropriate. Obesity is a complex, multifactorial condition, and ultra-processed foods are not the sole cause. But they represent a potent and modifiable factor, one that intersects with biology, psychology, culture, and economics. By recognizing how these products hijack our natural appetite systems, we can begin to make more informed choices and foster environments that support rather than undermine health. The solution doesn't lie in fear or restriction, but in reclaiming control over what and how we eat, with more emphasis on real food, real satisfaction, and real nourishment.